Hello everyone, my name is Megan Bennett and I work at the Farmington Public Library. And today I'm going to show you about one of our online resources called Creativebug. Now, you might have seen some Creativebug ads or mailings or emails from some of the major fabric companies. But you see, if you use your library card and PIN number, you can use Creativebug for free through the Farmington Public Library. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you the Farmington Public Library's website and how you would get to Creativebug. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to do that. Share my screen. All right, there we go. All right, you should be seeing my screen. You should be seeing Farmington Public Library's homepage, which is infoway.org, and it loads our classic catalog at the moment. And so, of course, you see that there are three things. There's catalog, home, online resources, every child ready to read. And in the middle section, there's the moving thing of new fiction, and there's our hours on the right. And that set of three repeats on the next pages. So you click on online resources. So we're looking for Creativebug. Now, what we have here, we have a setup. So on the right side, on the left side is the list of categories. So under books and reading, you would find a lot of databases about authors, books, and reading. And under genealogy, you would find things like Heritage Quest and MyHeritage. In the middle is the A to Z listing of our databases. Now, databases they're things that you would need to use your library card and PIN number to log into, and you'd be able to use for free. Whereas the web links on the right side of any of these three folds would be things that you would not need to use your library card and PIN number. Of course, Overdrive is the exception on the online resources homepage. But if we were to go into, say, I think Creativebug might be in Fix It, Make It, you would have here right at the top. So you have, again, on the left, the list of online categories. You have our databases in the middle. You need to use your library card and PIN number to log into them. And then the related links with Pinterest, King Arthur Baking, King Arthur Flour. So since we're looking at Creativebug, here's Creativebug right here. And it should open with this thing. So you're gonna need your library card and PIN number. I always have to look up my library card. All right, now Creativebug is a little difficult to use at first because it's not really obvious what you can do. What we're going to do right now is the easy thing. We're going to create an account, which would allow me to come back later and log into Creativebug, and I can take classes, I can save things. So you'd create an account right here. So what I'm doing is I'm putting in my Farmington Public Library email address. Right? So I've created an account, and notice it doesn't have very different things in it. But if you just wanted to see what Creativebug has, you don't have to create an account, or you can create an account anyway. I would suggest that you do, simply because it's free and easy. And if you ever want to save something or take a class through Creativebug, you have an account already set up. You just click down here under the pictures. There's a thing that says Find Projects for every occasion at creativebug.com. And what that's going to do is that's going to go to the main Creativebug homepage. And you'll see all of their classes, some daily practice, some inspiration, and you can see other things like that. So, classes, images, instructors, blogs, that's what you can search by. So what I'm gonna do is, since I know that one of the adult services craft bags that's upcoming is a knitting bag, or where there's gonna be some knitting needles and some yarn. And I know that's coming, but I don't know when it's coming. And I'm just interested in seeing what knitting might look like, so I know whether I want to go get the craft bag. So let's see here, knitting. Let's just try knitting. And looking for knitting classes. So, reversible double knitted cowl. That's not a beginner cowl, but it's going to look gorgeous. Finger knitting, it's going to be pretty. Knitting fox, knitting tools. That's what you might need for knitting. But I thought I saw, yes, knitting and purling. Now, knitting and purling are the two basic two basic stitches you use in knitting. There are a couple others like yarn overs and knit twos together, but generally knitting's just knitting and purling. So, okay, that's pretty. Oh, now playing the overview. So let's look at here. It takes about 16 minutes, and it shows you how to knit and purl with needles. Okay, and you get some videos, and then there are some comments at the end. Most of them are like, oh, very helpful, and I've always wanted to knit, but I'm left-handed. So let's see here, chapters. Okay. So this particular instructor shows you how to knit in both English and continental styles, which are very different styles of knitting. So you would, if you want to choose one, I would suggest choosing one and sticking with it. Just while you learn how to knit, you can always go back and learn how to knit continental style or English style. And the difference is how you hold the yarn. Some people find English style to be very difficult and continental to be very easy. A lot of people find it the other way around. So it's totally up to you. But you can watch the overview video. So let's see, it's 35 seconds long, so let's watch it.
The knit stitch and the purl stitch are like the meat and potatoes of knitting. In fact, all of knitting is just based on these two stitches. In English knitting, you're kind of throwing your yarn around the needle. And in continental, you're kind of picking the yarn with your needle. And so sometimes, instead of being called English or continental, they're called throwing or picking. Basic difference really is that in one, you're holding your yarn in your right hand, and the other one in your left hand.
Okay. So that was her introduction. Seems like she really knows how to teach knitting and purling on Creativebug. But maybe knitting's not really your thing. Maybe you're looking for macrame. Maybe you picked up the macrame air plant holder. Macrame. Search. And oh, let's make a macrame wall hanging. Okay. Oh, that's really pretty. It'll be pretty when it's finished. And you learn how to, so if you're doing this, you learn how to evenly cut your rope, how to attach driftwood, tie some classic square knots, and create a repeating macrame pattern. Okay. Now, as you can probably see from the two setups, Creativebug looks really similar once you get into it. You may have to carefully do your search terms in order to get what you're looking for. So if you type in wall hanging, you might not get this macrame hanger wall hanging. And if you type in knitting, you might not get cast on or bind off, which are two additional stitches for knitting and stuff like that. So you need to be a little more careful what you look in. Let's see what inspiration is. Let's look at pattern library. And it looks like you can find within the pattern library, you can just scroll through and find, so this is a crochet, that's a knit. Okay. So this all appears to be crochet patterns. Okay, so all of these are crochet patterns. Let me go back. Let me see if there's any way to be more careful. It doesn't look like there's any way to be slightly more searching, but lots of patterns. Super scarf, pillow, blanket, dress. Ooh, a snail backpack. That's really cute. You can download it right now from Creativebug if you want to crochet. Okay. And top, let's see if I keep going down and see if there's anything that's knitting. Looks like when we do get into knitting at some point, but it does change a bit. There we go, there's knitting. And so you've got some dishcloths, you've got some socks. Socks are really fun, but they're really complicated to turn the heel. So most of the time we suggest knitting in a straight line to start as opposed to as a tube. Same with hats and things. Cardigans, always awesome. Let's keep going here, see what else is down here. Looks like all we have are knit and crochet patterns just to download. And again, you can download them for free right now. Let's go back to classes. Oh, that's a rollover. So you can click on, say, sewing, and you can get all sorts of things on sewing. But let's go back to knitting. And let's click knitting, stay on knitting please, for beginners. And now all of these are the knitting tutorials that Creativebug has said are good for beginners. And they range from an hour and a half to about a minute, which is how to do something really careful like needle size or gauge, or knit very quickly. Others are in the hours long because they're very complicated, very set things that you might need. Let's see if there's anything interesting looking. So that is Creativebug. And again, you get to it from the Farmington Public Library, www.infoway.org, through Fix It, Make It, or under C on the A to Z listing, since it is Creativebug. All right. And let me stop my screen sharing. Come back to me. And if you have any questions about Creativebug, or you just can't seem to find it, or you load it and you're like, I don't remember how to get into it, you can always give us a call at 505-599-1270, and we'll be happy to give you a hand with our online resources at our Creativebug. Have a nice day.